third G20 Sherpa meeting has kicked off in SA with a notable absence of the US. That's despite US President Donald Trump saying the country would participate in G20 events, including the upcoming Leaders Summit. SA's G20 Sherpa Zain Dango says the three-day meeting will refine objectives, build early consensus regarding the declaration to be presented in November, and resolve any challenges that may hinder the successful finalization of those declarations. The construction sector is under pressure. Afrimat's index for the industry weakened during the first quarter and reveals a year-on-year decline of 2.6%. That performance has been blamed on heavy rainfall and poor government spend. Roelof Botha, who compiles the index, has also pointed to restrictive monetary policy, saying that has not only prevented the sector from recovering from the pandemic, but has also contributed to it entering a deep recession. Take-home pay dropped slightly in May. That's as global shocks led to a pause in investment decisions, as well as low confidence levels among investors and households. According to the latest BankServe Africa latest index, nominal average take-home pay dropped 1.3%. This marks the third straight month of decline. The Payments Clearinghouse says 2025 has turned out to be a volatile year, with multiple global shocks accompanied by a good dose of local challenges. DRD Gold's named a new finance chief. The bullion producer has appointed Henriette Huija as CFO designate. She will assume the role of CFO from February next year once Rian Devel steps down. DRD Gold says Huija brings nearly a decade of leadership experience at DRD Gold, having joined the company in 2016. The Road Accident Fund is under scrutiny. Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts says it will probe the state of finance at RAF. This follows numerous allegations of maladministration, financial mismanagement, as well as wasteful and reckless expenditure. Committee Chair Songezo Zibi says the investigation will also look into whistleblower accounts about supply chain irregularities involving more than 1 billion rand. SARS is looking to ramp up its use of AI as it seeks to boost efficiency and recover about 800 billion rand in uncollected taxes. The tax agency says it plans to procure advanced AI tools capable of replicating and automating complex human-like decision-making. SARS has already begun deploying AI, which Commissioner Edward Kieswetter says has revolutionized tax collection as it's removed the need for 60% of individual taxpayers to file returns and generated assessments in under 5 seconds. Further afield, Boeing failed to provide adequate training, guidance and oversight to prevent a mid-air cabin panel blowout of a new 737 MAX 9 flight in January 2024 that spun the plane maker into a major crisis. Let's take a look for more detail.
US regulators have released their report on the mid-air blowout last year involving a Boeing 737 MAX operated by Alaska Airlines. And it won't make easy reading for the aerospace giant. The National Transportation Safety Board says Boeing failed to provide workers with the training, guidance and oversight that could have prevented the incident. In comments Tuesday, the board harshly criticised the firm's safety culture and its failure to properly install key bolts when making the jet. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy said the incident was wholly avoidable, as the plane maker should have addressed production issues identified in internal audits going back a decade or more. She said it was nothing short of a miracle that no one was killed or seriously injured in the blowout. The accident left Boeing facing deep crisis. It prompted the Justice Department to open a criminal probe and declare that the firm was in violation of a deferred prosecution deal agreed after earlier fatal crashes. Regulators also capped output of the MAX while the company worked on improving quality. Those restrictions remain in place, crimping production of the company's best-selling model. Boeing says it regrets the incident and continues to work on strengthening safety and quality. It's redesigning the door plug that led to the blowout. Homendy praised new company chief Kelly Ortberg, but said he had his work cut out addressing all the issues. The NTSB report also criticised the Federal Aviation Administration, saying it should have been aware of problems at the firm. The FAA has now increased oversight of Boeing, after saying last year that it was too hands-off in monitoring the company.
And BYD, China's leading electric vehicle manufacturer, has slowed its production and expansion pace in recent months, with reports of reduced factory shifts and delayed plans for new production lines. Here's more detail in this report.
BYD has slowed its production and expansion plans in recent months. That's according to two sources close to the matter. They said the Chinese electric vehicle giant reduced shifts at some factories in its home market and delayed plans to add new production lines. The decisions might be a sign BYD's strong sales growth over the past couple of years could slow. It also faces rising inventory even after offering deep price cuts in China's highly competitive auto market. The sources said BYD cancelled night shifts and lowered output by at least a third at some of its factories. They added the measures were imposed on at least 4 facilities, and BYD had suspended some plans to set up a new production line. BYD's expansion in recent years drove it to overtake Tesla as the world's largest EV maker. It sold 4.27 million cars last year. The automaker has at least 7 car factories in China and targeted a near 30% rise in sales this year. Reuters was not able to identify the exact scale of the production reduction and expansion suspension. It could also not find out how long these measures may last. One of the sources said the moves were aimed at saving costs, while another said they were imposed after sales failed to meet targets. BYD did not immediately respond to a request for comment.